going on? This Nelson Trimble. Welcome to the Popular Lane Podcast. I'm with my boy Chris Lewie up in Detroit.
Yes, sir. What's the deal, my dog? I appreciate having me, man.
So let's dive into 2020, man. The year, man. This has been a crazy year, man.
It's been a while.
What kind of subjects and what kind of topics we got, Luke?
I'm saying, of course, we're going to get into the Covid-19 and then the impact of that. You know what I'm saying? We got to talk about the George Floyd, the Breonna Taylor, and the riots and everything, you know, because the country reacted to that real big. It's just been a wild year, not to mention Tom Brady left the Patriots. You know, I'm sick off that.
Oh, yeah, dope.
So, you know, man, it's just a lot, man, to cover, man. I'm curious to know, like, exactly where was you impacted the most during this year? Like, what hit your heart the hardest? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow, with this COVID thing, man, with the shutdown of the world, it made you really appreciate people. With 2020, man, I've seen a lot of people get away from here. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people. And just in my honest opinion, I've seen more people die from gunshots in Atlanta and guns than I've seen them die from COVID. You know what I mean? And so I got mixed emotion on COVID because COVID did two things, right? It slowed us down and it gave us a chance to see the world and view the world as it is. You know what I mean? As it is. And when I say that, our children, we got to see about them right now. You know what I'm saying? They're in the house. So the things that we've forgotten, we kind of got to remember again. Where community wasn't as important, community is more important now. Because we need the community to participate in helping, to level out this disease that's plaguing the world. You know, and it seems like it's hitting America the most because we wasn't prepared. We wasn't prepared, even though there was information out that this thing was coming. Yeah. And the other part of that is, you know what I mean, like for it to be a pandemic, you know, the information that we're receiving, man, is kind of like a cover up. You know, they say the disease.
Why would you say that exactly?
Well, why would I say it was a cover up? When I say it's a cover up, the answer to the problem is wash your hands, put on a mask, and don't interact with people.
I agree.
The number one thing in America, America is the number one place for obesity. The disease attacks high blood pressure and diabetes. Okay, so in Italy, 99% of the people that died had underlying health issues. So we're saying that COVID is killing these people, but how do we know that COVID is not weakening their underlying conditions that we're not addressing as America?
That definitely check off a lot of boxes.
Oh man, you're talking about universal health. And the only thing we got to do is eat right. So and exercise, but that's not in the game plan. A mask and a pill is in the game plan, and we kind of voted for that to be the game plan. And it's funny how we think as Americans and as the Black Americans, we want to trust and don't want to trust the same system. The same system that's killing our kids is the system that we're trying to trust with our lives when dealing with this plague that's plaguing the world. And so, on my outlook on that, I'm skeptical about information, but I know people who's been affected by this, so I know it's real. But I don't put out any misinformation like what Popular Lane, Fusion Movement, Nutritional Nuggets, all the companies that I'm involved with. That since this thing had shut down, we've started our own thing. We did our own thing combating by giving out free yoga classes and free health tips on myself.
Yeah, I saw you in the park, man. You brought all them hoods. It was in the park. I'm like, legendary.
Man, come on, dog. Come on. That's what it's about. That's power. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's power. And that was our way of combating what's going on, because we can cover up a mask, but until we deal with the underlying problem, they gave us more food stamps. They gave stimulus check. People put more, and they sit in the house. And so you sit in the house, you tend to eat and watch TV and become a couch potato. And
it actually just makes it worse.
Yeah, so Black people are wondering why we're plagued that the disease is hitting us highest because we are the most obese. Because we like the we eat the cheapest food, you know what I mean? Because we get the lowest, and that plays a part into the chaos that is causing amongst our race. So that's my view on that. And the kids don't get a chance to go to these concerts and stuff, man, but we still find a way to let them out because there's been a lot of underage killings, especially in Atlanta. And
I'm curious to know about Atlanta too, like particularly because I'm in Detroit, so like my whole experience from this whole COVID experience has been completely different from yours. I know y'all got from us having a Democratic governor, y'all having a Republican governor, and not only that, Atlanta not really being impacted right now during the second wave that the rest of the country. And I'm just curious to know how you feel as far as being black. I know that there's certain things you might see that the Republicans may be doing as like maybe right or wrong, and you seeing the Democrats being right or wrong. So I know that down there in Atlanta, especially being black, you're able to have a real objective view versus me up here, so it's kind of different. I'm curious to know what's that like down there.
Yeah, like I was saying, like COVID, man, everybody's screaming about COVID, but everybody I know died from gunshots, from gun wounds, and it died during when the lockdown was going on. You know what I mean? So people were still gathering and stuff was still going on. So when we look at it from the aspect of a businessman or entrepreneur, man, I'm kind of glad that Atlanta is still open. And not like the rest of the world. So with the Republican, with the governor, I'm kind of in agreement with that because I don't see us locking down at 8 o'clock like the disease come at 8 o'clock. You know what I mean? Like, or the disease more, you know what I mean, potent at 8. You know what I mean? Why?
Right.
But everybody's going to the same stores. Everybody going to the same gas stations. You know what I mean? Regardless. You know what I'm saying? So when we come out, we still have to go to the same places and we're still interacting with the same people and touching the same things. So you can tell me, how do you fight something that's invisible?
I agree. And we got a guest in. I don't want to introduce the guest, Ms. Robinson. But
I can't. Hi.
How you doing?
Hey
how you
there.
doing?
Oh, wow. Hey there, Ms. Robinson Nafeesa. What's going on?
Hey, Justin.
Hey there. How you doing, man? Great. Love the shirt. Popular Lane, man.
Shout out.
I had to rip one time.
So, yeah, Chris, we can't have you doing a show anymore without a Popular Lane.
I know.
Man.
Yeah, we definitely got to get that up, man. I've been looking at it from the internet, from the outside looking in. I've been seeing it just getting bigger and bigger, man. But just to inform Ms. Robinson what we've been talking about, we've been just asking just the experience of the different 2020 things we've been through, especially COVID being the main one, of course. Just curious to know how you were impacted. What were certain things that happened this year that kind of really hit home in that sense. You know what I'm saying? Just curious to know how you feel.
Well, just to be honest, COVID has been good to me. Fortunately, I went down to part-time at my job. So with that being said, it gave me a little bit more time to focus on my life and focus on my business. And then I partnered up with Nelson, to push my company, Nutritional Nuggets. And it was just been like bow ever since then.
Telling him because I'm in Detroit, so we're completely locked down from we've been locked down for like this for months now. Like we had little temporary moments where they let bars and stuff open for a certain period of time with like a limited capacity to a degree, but for the most part we've adapted to this new form of life, this new form of communication, not being able to get around. So just me looking at Atlanta from the outside looking in, it's just I'm curious to know what it's like, just especially being black, and especially during this time, because I know majority of blacks across the country are impacted during this COVID. So it's kind of crazy to see the mecca of the black communities, show you that we could be as resilient as anything. It's kind of incredible, I think.
Yeah, I think it's making everyone get what we call it back to our roots. So it's kind of beautiful to see. I like to cultivate food. I like to plant plants and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a trend now, and everybody trying to get back to their roots. For others who have the entrepreneurial spirit, I think it's something awesome, especially when they can get the jump on the SBA loans and things like that we normally don't have access to.
Now, I'm curious to know, not to cut you off, I am curious to know, as far as like, did you have to make an adjustment being an entrepreneur? Because I know a lot of business owners were impacted by the COVID, as far as like, the direct consumer. Like, how were you able to adjust in order for your business to still flourish in essence?
Well, we took the business outside. I took my business outside and gave free yoga classes for the whole season, for the whole COVID season.
Creative, innovative,
Yeah, most definitely. So it wasn't an issue of you being close to me and I'm close to you and us being closed in with polluted air. So we was able to take it outside and still love on people and give away free fitness and information. Keep the network flowing.
And not only that, we had a in direct comeback to what we were seeing that were killing the people. We were able to throw a Stop the Violence rally in the Polar Rock community for gun violence because a vendor that was coming to our event was murdered a couple of days before our event. He was coming to play Spider-Man for the kids, and so we did a whole gun violence. And in that week, my sister was shot by her husband. And
oh man, my heart goes out, man. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, but she survived, luckily. But he took his own life, so it was a whole lot that went on during this period. But it stemmed around gun violence, so we were able to attack two things this summer at the same time. You know what I mean? So big shouts out to the Nutritional Nugget Fusion Movement and the Popular Lane brand for being able, of course I couldn't do it by myself, so I had to have a team. Shout out to Ms. Robinson and everybody that's that helped on her behalf and Nutritional Nugget behalf and Fusion
and
Movement.
do it by myself.
Can I ask you something too? Because you raised a good point again too, man. My heart goes out, especially I'm just glad you guys are able to be strong during this time with that. But you raised a good point as far as like the violence. I'm curious to know, because not to quite switch topics, but again, Atlanta was again the epicenter of a lot of violence this year as far as in hip hop is concerned. Like, we had the King Von situation. I'm just curious to know, like, what are some things that are being done, or how do you think that we can really stop the violence in essence? Especially, I'm in Detroit, not too far from Chicago, got a lot of family there. So it is something that's really bad. So I do commend you for even taking that step, especially during this time,
In my respect, what we can do to stop the violence is it's hard. It's going to be hard until we make it popular to be lame. Oh man, look how the show came back. You know what I mean? Popular to be lame. Right now, it's a lot of dope boys that scammers and stuff striving to be rappers, and the rappers are striving to be scammers and dope boys.
True.
So therefore, the cultures are intertwining, and a lot of the times it's not the music that's getting them killed, it's the extracurricular activity. And because they're in the field, they go along with the field, but it's the extracurricular activity that's getting them really murdered. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Everybody, we listen to the music. I don't know if you ever heard of the story of the Pied Piper. The Pied Piper led the rats out of the city with the music. The music is influencing our kids, and people like to deny the fact. And they always talking about, we did it, we listened to it, they listened to it when they were younger, and look at where we are. You know what I mean? Although we have more millionaires than ever, we also, as a community, as a race, are at its lowest point. We don't own nothing. And it's what we're teaching our children. So the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over. So we can't sit right here and listen and look at the situation and not see it for what it is. Our kids have been successfully sold out by the record stations, by the radio host and everything. So now we got our children listen to this, and we wonder why our daughters are being on set traffic. You know what I mean? Or participating in sex at an earlier age. Our young men are filming them doing this and going locked up for that. You know what I mean? And people are falling out over stuff that's rush scholar, because once you put somebody's sister, now their brother involved, now it's beef. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now they want to, you know what I mean? So it's so many underlying things, and so many goody two-shoe people that are contributing to the demise of a race. But we're applauding them, and we're putting them on a pedestal because we feel like they got a good job. They're making money. You know what I mean? But at the same time, they're making money at the cost of your children's lives. I know I spoke at my friend's son's funeral this year. I've seen my friends start burying their children. So it's like, you know what I mean? At what point do we just wake up and address the reality? And our way of addressing reality was by giving the Stop the Violence gun rally. You know,
hey, can I ask you something personally? Just like you, because I respect what you said, but like, just I know you're somebody who always lift people up, especially in time of need. You know what I'm saying? I've seen you repeatedly been the type of person that when things are in shambles, to lift people up, to let people know to stay focused. You know, you always somebody who always asks to speak at different people's services. I'm just curious to know, like, you personally, like you said, seeing it over years and years, like it's insanity. What type of toll do that take on somebody like you? Like, we don't never check on the people who saving the people. You know what I'm saying? So how do you get through during that time, man? Because you do a lot, bro.
Man, you know, I'm glad that you asked that. And you know, in retrospect, sometimes, you know, it gets the me against the world attitude, and sometimes it comes on in the form of anxiety. You know what I mean? I have my breakdowns. You know what I mean? I be by myself, my girl, whatever, and I fuck around and break down. You know what I mean? Crying, all kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like the world finna end, like it's closing in. So after 18 years of seeing my friends die, their children died, and all that kind of stuff, I've kind of become numb to death, because I know we got to keep on going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of become numb, and I hate to say it in that sense. But I bury a friend, I think about him for a couple of days, and then, you know, it's on to the next chapter. Because and even with the little kids that I mentor, when I lose one or anything, you know what I mean, somebody what's kind of got to keep on going, because there's another one out there. They got to be saved, and we can't get caught up on the one that were lost. You know what I mean? Because if you get stuck, then you're not making no progress. And fusion is called a movement. If it's not moving, then it's not a movement. You know what I mean? So we got to keep it moving, and I almost look at it as war. That's why I call myself the General Sparatic. You know what I mean? The casualties. But in war, as a casualty go, you know what I mean? You feel for your fallen soldier, but you keep on, because we got to water win. You understand?
Right.
If that makes sense.
No, it do. And I'm curious to know how Miss Robinson feel. I'm not sure, just you being a black woman, I'm sure if you have children or not, but I just know from your perspective, what is it like having to always be strong? Because the black woman is the strongest in the country. Like, they're the rock of all this, you know, the center of life. I'm just curious to know how you see everything unraveling at this point, and how do you stay strong for the family, for the world, you know?
Oh man, it's so hard. It's hard because I kind of wear the burdens of the people and the world. So when I understand how voting goes, or how the judicial system goes, you know, it just made me sad, you know, because everybody don't have the same knowledge that I have of the things that goes on, like in the inside, you know, inside scoop of things. So, yeah, it just made me want to just continue to do what I do, and inform people on different levels of different things, and just try to keep it moving, because we just got to stay informed so we can understand what's next.
Yeah, and one thing, both of you guys raised the issue, because, you know, it's hard being a strong person, you know what I'm saying, in all the situations. So like mental health is something that's big right now. I think that like people should come together in certain kind of workshops. It could be like Zoom workshops, because you never know who have like a similar experience or who could relate to you from a 1,000 miles away, who could always just uplift you in essence. So I think that sticking together during this time is real important, man. Definitely.
Yeah, I need to really do something because I'm a mental health, like a peer counselor. So I am able to hold classes and things of that nature. So that is something to think about. But I just try to try to help combat mental health through unconventional ways like fitness. So it wouldn't be like, because when you talk about mental health, everybody's not going to admit that it's a problem, so I give free yoga classes so people can come and have an exit, and that's a form of mental health without really stating the word that you just had some mental health counseling. You understand?
Yeah, definitely.
Because it deals with a lot of meditation,
right,
a lot of concentration. Yeah, so yeah, definitely. And my thing with mental health is, having a special needs son and a brother, is being more sensitive to people. We're so quick to react, but we never know. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of time, like people look normal, but they're not. You know what I mean? So having more empathy and sympathy for the world is a great way to combat mental health, and making sure these officers are trained on mental health experts, and I think every police precinct should have a mental health expert there 24 hours a day. So when they get a call, instead of meeting it with force, they can meet it with what's needed, and we can start saving some lives.
Right, and like Ms. Robinson said, she said a great point to assist with what you just said. Trying to take unconventional ways to solve a solution. You know what I'm saying? In 2020, we've seen a crazy year in policing. Like, of course, it's been wild forever, but just I guess this is the tip of the iceberg. People were really upset. You've seen the most mass riots that our country's ever seen. I'm just curious to know what was it like down there being in Atlanta.
They made it bad. You know what I'm saying? And you had a few instigators, but most people know that marching and rioting is not the answer to the problem. It's financial. So what I've seen in Atlanta is a lot of black people start buying black. So it's been that kind of way. It wasn't any really no destruction. They did their little thing, but
they overhyped it.
It was more so white people than it was black. You know what I'm saying?
And I seen that everywhere too, man. Especially like everybody seen that one clip that went viral with who was dropping off the bricks, man. That people were loading up. There was pallets of bricks in different cities getting dropped off. So that is crazy, man. I don't know how to feel about all that, man.
Yeah, they call instigators, man. Instigators. They start things so people can go to jail, and because at the end of the day, just being honest, the white person is not gonna go to jail, right? So they investigation, throw a brick or start a fight, and then the police gonna come and take everybody to jail.
I have a hard time seeing a black person drop off a pile of bricks in all these different locations, to be honest.
To discredit the what was going on. So that's the only way that you can discredit it, is by saying that you know what I mean, that it's violent, that they're, you know what I mean, thugs or whatever. And that's so easy to do through the media, because you know what I mean, when we think about it, we just take the gloves out, really. You know what I mean, who owns the media, you know what I mean, the religion background, you know what I mean, and their outlook of blacks, period, over the time, over, you know what I mean, over centuries of living. So we can't expect anything good from that point. So
from a poison well, how you gonna expect some nutrients from a poison?
Come on, that's what we're talking about, this information. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm curious to know, before we get up out of here, you know what I'm saying, I just want to know, what's something that you guys are looking forward to for 2021? What are you looking forward to leaving behind? Of course, we can't leave COVID behind. We wish we could. But what silver lining do you see out of this situation for everybody to go through the 2021?
What I'm leaving behind are frenemies. You know what I mean? When I say frenemies, people that only want to come aboard when things are going good. See, if you're not there for the good, the bad, and the ugly, are you really a friend? You know what I mean?
Right.
And you know, a lot of people come with a lot of smiling face, and after seeing my sister being shot by her husband, I'm good on the smiles, and not, you know, because love, all that stuff is an action. You know what I mean? So prove it more so with your action than with your words. And I'm leaving all kind of resentment back in 2020. You know what I mean? Resentment from situations of others, because resentment don't get you nowhere, get you stuck. And you know what I mean? You got to keep on forward moving. So that situation got to die, and you got to be rebirthed. In 2021, I'm looking to the growth of Popular Lane, which is growing amazingly. And doing more philanthropy work throughout Atlanta and throughout America as we fight this COVID, and teaching other people unorthodox ways of fighting and getting healthy and saving lives. And that's it in a nutshell.
Hey man, that was a lot, man. That was more than a nutshell, brother. That was a full. That was more than what Biden got for the country.
Okay.
About that.
Hey y'all, Sparatic, Nelson Trimble for president 2024, y'all. I'm running for president.
Yeah.
So
for real, man.
I'm doing the Kanye.
And what about you? What about you, Miss Robinson?
I'm leaving all the disbelievers behind, all the non-believers, and that's just in a nutshell. Because actually, Sparatic said it all.
I agree. He totally did. How you doing? But yeah, man, I appreciate the time. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to Popular Lane Podcast. We're going to hit you over with another one in a couple days. Anything you want to close out, man? General Sparatic, man.
Hey, I just want to tell everybody to check out the website, get some gear. We're going to get you laced up. Stay positive, look out for each other, man. And the best way to combat hate is with love. You know what I mean? Love conquers all.
That's what it is, man. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate y'all time.